Unlike the Black Serpent clan's den, the Fighting Dolphin clan's home was centered around a very large network of overgrown kelp found near the edge of the southwestern seas. Continental slope. These overgrown kelps growing on the sea floor could extend all the way to the water surface, where the fighting dolphin generally slumber. After all, fighting dolphins could not stay underwater for long periods like the black serpents. They did not have the same ability to absorb oxygen through their skin. As such, they had to surface periodically to inhale oxygen from the air. However, despite being shallow water mammals, the Fighting Dolphin clan actually chose the deepest area of the shallow sea floor as its permanent habitat. N/O/vel/B/C/in.C///////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////// The sustenance of the overgrown kelp was just one of the reasons for the Fighting Dolphin clan's choice of habitat. The steep drop of the continental slope on the edge of the kelp region was where the fighting dolphins practiced their deep diving to improve their lung capacity. That said, deep diving was just the entry-level practice of the Fighting Dolphin clan's turtle breath. The main purpose of practicing turtle breath was to allow the fighting dolphins to reach and stay on the abyssal plane at the bottom of the continental slope, where they began to train and forge their powerful physiques. The abyssal plane contained a type of special mineral called abyssal stones, which were denser and heavier than most common metals, even some rarer metals. Vaan could see that these abyssal stones were not naturally formed but created by the impure mana and energy spewing out of the seemingly bottomless trench beyond the abyssal plane. He didn't expect the outer edges of the southwestern sea would possess such concentrated mana. However, when he extended his sense further to the outer sea, he discovered the mana was even richer and boundless over there. The abundant existence of mana in the region seemed to suggest the outer sea had a connection to chaos or Gehenna. Although Vaan was interested in looking deeper into it, he had to meet with the Fighting Dolphin clan first. Moreover, he could get information from it. His arrival had long since attracted countless attention from the fighting dolphins. After all, no human had ever visited their core habitat. As such, Vaan easily stood out. However, since a senior member of their clan brought Vaan here, the other fighting dolphins did not carelessly approach him. Instead, they silently observed from a distance and speculated the reason for his arrival themselves. When they sensed his conqueror's aura, their curiosity became respect and awe despite their shock and confusion. "Your Excellency, may I ask why you have visited our humble clan today?" The Fighting Dolphin clan leader hurriedly approached with a careful attitude after Vaan turned his attention to his clan. "If I want your clan's allegiance, will you submit?" Vaan cut straight to the point. Andaman, who brought him to the clan, was immediately dumbfounded. Vaan's first question almost made his heart jump out of his chest. Did he just bring trouble to his clan? While Andaman's mind was in turmoil, the Fighting Dolphin clan leader stared at Vaan more deeply and thoughtfully. At the same time, Vaan also studied him. Ding! The target's information has been collected. Target's information. Name, Jamal Squats. Race, Fighting Dolphin. Age, 299 Pangean years. Position, clan leader of the Fighting Dolphin clan. Existence level, peak stage demigod. Abilities, combat expert, water control, fast swimmer, physical enhancement, communication, echolocation, greater turtle breath, do you even lift? Heavy weight, sonic disruption, intimidation, braveheart, charisma, leadership, innovator, high perception, sea child. Status, curious, conflicted, confused, doubtful, pondering, healthy, super fit. Looking at Jamal's information, Vaan felt both surprised and speechless, surprised because the Fighting Dolphin clan seemed quite young compared to the Black Serpent clan. In fact, it seemed to exist after the emergence of Gehenna. In other words, the Fighting Dolphin clan was born after the existence of mana. As such, it wasn't surprising for the Fighting Dolphin clan to be weaker than the Black Serpent clan due to its younger history. However, for the Fighting Dolphin clan to become the ruling marine clan of the Southwestern Sea, its overall strength couldn't be underestimated. While the Fighting Dolphin clan didn't have a single divine rank life form, it had countless more demigod-level life forms than the Black Serpent clan, at least several thousand more. Each demigod-level fighting dolphin had undergone extreme physical training and built themselves impressive physiques. Even Vaan felt slightly intimidated by their group, though for a different reason. On the other hand, he was speechless because Jamal's information showed some questionable abilities. He couldn't help but take a closer look at them. Greater turtle breath, able to hold breath underwater for more than 12 hours. Do you even lift? When performing physical training in an exhausted state under the scrutiny of a fellow clansman, physical improvements are doubled, and physical limit breakthroughs become easier. Heavy weight, able to exert up to 20% extra force against lighter opponents. Sonic disruption, can stun or confuse foes with sound attacks. Intimidation, can cause smaller framed foes to cower and reconsider, inciting aggression or hostility. Braveheart, unable to be paralyzed by fear. Charisma, able to attract the attention and admiration of other fighting dolphins. The effect is doubled on the opposite gender. Leadership, more likely to make the right decision when leading the clan. Other fighting dolphins are more likely to agree and follow. Innovator, when observing the natural forces of the world, become more easily inspired to create new training techniques and combat skills. High perception, able to perceive and understand the laws of the world more easily. Sea child, able to receive the blessings of the sea, increasing good luck, fortuitous encounters, bumper harvests, and perfect weather while decreasing the chance of encountering dangerous situations, predators, and natural disasters. What the actual fuck? Vaan thought. If he had only felt speechless before, he was now completely dumbfounded. While the heavens were trying to kill him, they were also trying to keep this one alive. It was the first time he had come across such a blessed and envious existence. Was this one of those so-called heavens chosen? Although Vaan was envious of Jamal's status, he was even more pleasantly surprised by it. With such a lucky charm under his command, he would be able to rub off some of its luck, too. Your Excellency, may I ask what you plan to do with our allegiance? Jamal Squats inquired carefully. I will be unifying the land and sea, but the celestial kingdom and I don't see eye to eye. A clash between us is inevitable, Vaan calmly mentioned before saying, however, I don't need your clan to fight my war. I only require your clan's information and surveillance. I need eyes and ears to monitor the celestial kingdom's movement. It will be even better if you know any of the celestial kingdom's bases or anything about the southern sea. Is this too much to ask? Not at all, Your Excellency, Jamal shook his head before decisively stating, from henceforth, the Fighting Dolphin clan will follow the new bearer of the Conqueror's aura. The Fighting Dolphin clan is yours to command, my lord, Jamal stated. Without consulting any of his elders, he had arbitrarily tied the Fighting Dolphin clan's fate to Vaan's wagon.n/o/vel/b/. However, not a single Fighting Dolphin felt there was anything wrong with this choice. To them, Vaan wasn't just the new bearer of the Conqueror's aura, he was also the god of body refining. They had never seen such terrifying physical power contained within a small frame like his. Each adult Fighting Dolphin was at least over 10 meters big and weighing over several tons. Yet, none of them could compare to Vaan. He was smaller than them, but his strength was superior, and even his weight was far less. It was as if his body wasn't made of fleshly materials but the core essence of stars. The Fighting Dolphin clan is willing to follow you into battle, my lord. The Ocean Master's Conqueror's aura does not have as much of an effect on us as it does on other marine clans, Jamal added solemnly. Hearing that, Vaan nodded. Since the Fighting Dolphin clan possessed human origins, it wasn't fully marine life. As such, it wouldn't be surprising for the boundless sea and sky aura to have a weaker effect. Moreover, many Fighting Dolphins had the Braveheart aspect. Thus, they weren't afraid of the Celestial Kingdom's superior strength. Unfortunately, they were too weak. Vaan didn't want them to throw away their lives, especially the clan leader. That would be a waste of heaven's resources. I appreciate the thought. However, your battle power isn't up to standard. If you can at least become a 5th stage divine warrior, I might reconsider it, Vaan casually said. That said, there is no need to be disheartened by this. It's customary for me to gift my followers benefits for their loyalty. Perhaps you may achieve some unexpected results from this. Although Jamal had no idea what Vaan was talking about, he still followed his instructions and offered up his blood. Vaan intended to perform a bloodline awakening for the Fighting Dolphin clan as well. However, he wasn't certain how much of an effect it would have on the Fighting Dolphin clan. After all, the Fighting Dolphin clan didn't harvest golden dragon blood, it didn't seem to have an impressive ancestral heritage either. Furthermore, its human aspect might obstruct the bloodline awakening from happening. Half an hour after Vaan refined Jamal's blood essence into origin blood and stimulated his bloodline awakening with life energy, a miraculous event occurred. Beasts with ancient bloodlines relied on bloodline awakening to rise to the same strength as their peak ancestors. They could also tap into ancestral knowledge and memories hidden within their bloodline. This was something unique to beasts as it helped their descendants find their origins. Humans didn't have such an ability. But in that case, what would happen if a human-beast bloodline was awakened? Their result was the situation before everyone. After Jamal's Fighting Dolphin bloodline was stimulated, he felt like fire coursed through his large body. Others could visibly see the network of blood vessels within him. They saw how a violent force was rushing through blood vessels erratically like it was looking for something but didn't know what it was looking for. Once it did find something, the violent force immediately assaulted it. Violent energy poured into the acupoint-like location until it was filled up, causing it to light up like a tiny star. For a moment, 6 other dim stars in the body were also briefly revealed before disappearing. After all the light from the energy faded from Jamal's body, nothing particular stood out. Jamal's strength didn't improve, nor did his physique undergo any visible change, nothing spectacular like the usual bloodline awakening of beasts. However, something had certainly changed in the Fighting Dolphin clan leader. Jamal seemed to know something, but he didn't look too confident. It seemed he needed to test something before he could confirm it. Ding! The target's information has been collected. Target's information. Name, Jamal Squats. Race, Fighting Dolphin. Age, 299 Pangean years. Position, clan leader of the Fighting Dolphin clan. Existence level, peak stage demigod. Abilities, combat expert, water control, fast swimmer, physical enhancement, communication, echolocation, greater turtle breath, do you even lift? Heavy weight, sonic disruption, intimidation, braveheart, charisma, leadership, innovator, high perception, sea child, poison eater, new. Poison eater, ancestral talent, divine rank. Ability, immune to poisons below early stage divine rank and below. When consuming poison, energy can be extracted to strengthen the body. Energy from new poisons has stronger strengthening effects. Vaan glanced at Jamal's new ability, his lips twitched. The Fighting Dolphin clan leader truly had some dogshit good luck. With the Poison Eater ancestral talent, he could train in the toxic outer sea to become powerful. Even he couldn't estimate how much he could grow with such a great talent. That said, Vaan, more or less, figured out the nature of human-beast bloodline awakenings. Beast bloodline awakenings drew out ancestral power, while human-beast bloodline awakenings drew out ancestral talents if the human bloodline was more dominant. The Poison Eater ancestral talent appeared to belong to a human ancestor who possessed one of the very rare poison physiques needed to become a poison cultivator. You're very lucky, Jamal. Thank you for your blessing, my lord. The Fighting Dolphin clan leader was ecstatic after figuring out his new ability. He couldn't wait to test out its effectiveness. Previous chapter. While the Fighting Dolphin clan leader was familiarizing himself with his new ancestral talent, Vaan performed the bloodline awakening procedure on another 9 fighting dolphins at the demigod rank. Among the 9 demigod rank fighting dolphins, 3 awakened the same, Poison Eater, ancestral talent, 4 awakened, Iron Stomach, 1 awakened, Far Sight, and the last one awakened, Hard Skin. Evidently, not everyone could awaken the same ancestral talent, and not all ancestral talents were great. Some were higher ranked than others. Far Sight only enhanced vision slightly, while Hard Skin toughened fleshly defense slightly. Iron Stomach, on the other hand, was somewhat better, it could process everything eaten into energy. It was more versatile than Poison Eater in energy conversion but significantly weaker in effects. As such, Poison Eater remained the top ancestral talent within the Fighting Dolphin clan's current pool of ancestral talents. Sometime later, Jamal returned to business after calming down from his excitement. Regarding the Celestial Kingdom and the Southern Sea, my clan does know a little bit, my lord, Jamal mentioned. Rumor has it that the Southern Outer Sea had been especially chaotic in recent years, so the Ocean Master had been staying in the Southern Inner Sea to restore order at the sea border. However, the Ocean Master doesn't seem to have complete control of the sea monsters in the Southern Outer Sea, Jamal stated. Oh. Vaan was surprised, but he also couldn't help but frown. The boundless sea and sky aura had a much stronger influence on non-sentient life forms than sentient life forms. Yet, the Ocean Master was having trouble controlling the sea monsters in the Outer Sea. Did that mean the sea monsters in the Outer Sea were far more intelligent than he imagined? Or were there other factors allowing the sea monsters to resist the boundless sea and sky aura on the Ocean Master? Regardless, the Outer Sea was certainly a curious place. Which marine clan rules the Southern Sea? Vaan asked. That would be the Iron-Scaled Shark clan, my lord, Jamal answered, adding, they used to rule the Southwestern Sea until we drove them out. Now, they have become a lifelong rival, they will find any chance to pick a fight with us when they can. Of course, the Iron-Scaled Shark clan would lose every time it fought the Fighting Dolphin clan. Sometimes, the Fighting Dolphin clan even wondered if the Iron-Scaled Shark clan just liked to be bullied by it. Does the Fighting Dolphin clan not have access to the Dragon Vein? What is a Dragon Vein, my lord? Looking back at Jamal's blank expression, Vaan quickly understood he truly had no idea what the Dragon Vein was. It was surprising that the Fighting Dolphin clan didn't know about the Dragon Vein, given the Fighting Dolphin clan leader's good luck blessing. If there were openings in the Southwestern Sea, the Fighting Dolphin clan would have discovered the Dragon Vein long ago. Since that wasn't the case, the Dragon Vein's entrance could be obstructed or hidden. Did the Iron-Scale Shark clan hide them before it was driven out of the Southwestern Sea? Vaan felt like this was possible. After all, given the Fighting Dolphin clan's fanatic drive towards body refining, it would have become even more powerful if it had the aid of Golden Dragon blood. However, if the Iron-Scaled Shark clan was weak enough to be driven out by the Fighting Dolphin clan, it might not have access to the Dragon Vein either. How can the Fighting Dolphin clan not know about Golden Dragon blood if the Iron-Scaled Shark clan had been using it? Indeed, after further inquiry, Vaan learned that the Fighting Dolphin clan and Iron-Scaled Shark clan never knew about the Dragon Vein and Golden Dragon blood. Upon further thought, Vaan recalled the Southwestern Sea's aquatic plants were thriving much better than the other inner seas he had visited. The overgrown kelp region was proof of it. After reviewing the Southwestern Sea's geography, he figured the openings to the Dragon Vein had a higher chance of being found along the walls of the continental slope or the trench walls beyond the abyssal plain. Walls of aquatic plants may have blocked the Southwestern Sea's entrance to the Dragon Vein. However, the Southwestern Sea was also relatively flat and had little to no seamounts. It was mostly covered in corals and aquatic plants. After reviewing the Southwestern Sea's geography, he figured the openings to the Dragon Vein had a higher chance of being found along the walls of the continental slope or the trench walls beyond the abyssal plain. How much do you know about the trench beyond the abyssal plain? Has your clan ever explored it? Vaan asked curiously. He was quite interested in that mana-rich sea region. Are you talking about the forbidden abyss that lies beyond the abyssal stone plain, my lord? Jamal Squats asked. After receiving Vaan's confirmation, he continued, I'm afraid I will have to disappoint you, my lord. Some of our clan members have tried to explore it in the past. However, none of them has ever returned from the forbidden abyss. As such, we aren't able to learn much about it. That said, we do know that it's an especially dangerous place. There must be a reason why it has such a strong current to keep our weaker members out, Jamal speculated. Only demigods were able to swim against the strong discharging current and enter the forbidden abyss. However, once they do, the Fighting Dolphin clan has never seen them return, even when they were given strict orders to retreat as soon as they sensed danger. As such, there was something eerie about the Forbidden Abyss, something that prevented the demigod-rank fighting dolphins from ever returning once they entered that dark and gloomy place. The murky black water reminded the fighting dolphin clan of the toxic outer sea, while the strong water density made Vaan think about the deeper layers of the dragon vein. The Forbidden Abyss seemed to have a connection to the dragon vein, outer sea, and chaos simultaneously. I'm going to explore it, Vaan suddenly said, shocking the fighting dolphins. However, shortly after they recovered from their surprise, determination filled their eyes as they fearlessly volunteered to accompany him. My lord, please allow me to brave the secrets of the Forbidden Abyss with you. In the Black Serpent clan, the new arrival of blue-skinned celestials immediately sent the black mutant serpents on high alert. Everyone feared the celestial kingdom had already learned about their defection. Everyone, calm down. Act normally and do anything suspicious. The blue skins aren't here to punish us. That's right. These blue skins are only a group of transcendents. They can't threaten us at all. Someone, quickly inform the clan leader about this. Sheris, congratulations. You have just been promoted to an elder. Go and meet the blue skins and see what they want. The late-stage demigod-rank gold-horned mutant serpent was stunned by the sudden promotion and arrangement. However, it didn't take long for her and everyone else to understand why the 10 elder serpents promoted her unanimously. The physical appearance of the dragon serpent bloodline was too eye-catching. If the blue skins asked about it, they would find it hard to explain. Furthermore, the awakened bloodline could even attract the celestials' greed. Those blue skins never needed a reason when they wanted to take something. Understood, elders. Outside the Black Serpent clan's den, Sheris shortly met up with the blue skins, who stayed outside of the radioactive seawater. While they weren't affected by the weak radiation at their level, they didn't need to dirty themselves in its tainted waters. May I ask why the esteemed celestials have decided to grace our humble clan today? I am Elder Sheris. Any questions you have, I am here to answer them. 4 precious members of our proud Silver Scale City have been killed, so we are tasked to gather information on the killer. 9 of your demigods have also been killed. Do you know anything about this? What? How is that even possible? 9 of our demigods were also killed? When did that happen? Where did they die? After Sheris feigned shock and ignorance with her quick thinking, the faces of the blue-skinned celestials immediately fell. They became gloomy and depressed. They came to get their questions answered, not answer questions. Shit. I knew these black snakes were unreliable. They haven't even found that some of their clan members have been killed yet. Their network is truly trash. I told you we should have gone straight to the coastal region. We would have likely gained more useful information there. The black snakes here don't know shit. The blue-skinned celestials did not waste any more time with Sheris. They immediately departed east without a word of goodbye. They were so arrogant that they didn't think Sheris could be hiding information from them. Shortly after blue-skinned celestials departed, Dragon Serpent leader Sutu learned about their visit. He immediately instructed the Dragon Serpent elders to lay low for a while. At the same time, he also sent a group of talented black serpents to the southwestern sea under the guise of mutual exchange with the Fighting Dolphin clan. However, their main goal was to warn Vaan and ask him to stay out of the troubled waters of the western sea for a while to ensure his safety. Meanwhile, the blue-skinned sea patrollers did not spend too much effort on their information gathering. In fact, it could be said that they lacked enthusiasm. They only spent 3 hours in the coastal region before returning to Silver Scale City. When the limited information was passed on to the Spirit Observation Department, Chief Ethar immediately fumed on the Spirit Telecom. What the fuck do you mean the Sea Patrol has only this bit of information? Can this even be counted as information? What the fuck did your men even do? They didn't even gather intel from the DSE land region. Don't be unreasonable, Chief Ethar. My men are just sea patrollers. The land is not part of our jurisdiction. If you want information from the land dwellers, you should contact the Land Investigation Branch, the Border Garrison Captain coolly suggested. The fact that I even listened to your request is already me giving you face, Chief Ethar. Do you think it makes for Heaven Ascension Realm experts to investigate a murder case involving divine star-level threat? My men aren't expendable tools for building your career profile. Go and find another department to help you with your case. We are done here, the Border Garrison Captain coldly ended the call. Bang! Chief Ethar smashed the Spirit Telecom device in rage. He didn't expect the sea patrols to be so uncooperative. It made him realize the military was not happy with the personnel change. As such, even if he contacted the Land Investigator Branch, he would still get the same cold treatment. No one from the military took him seriously. If he wanted things done, he could only do it himself. A bunch of bastards. Just you all wait. Once I make a major contribution to the Celestial Kingdom and receive a higher title, see how I'll make all of your lives miserable. As Chief Ethar uttered venomously, the members of the Spirit Observation Department continued their work in dreadful silence like they didn't exist. They feared making a sound would turn them into the target of his wrath. They didn't even dare to fart. As such, Chief Ethar didn't receive any criticism despite destroying military property, which was punishable by up to 30 spirit lashes, depending on the damage. Inform me through this sound talisman if there's any new information. Chief Ethar threw out his instruction before storming off. After leaving the Spirit Observation Department, he immediately gathered his Divine Star Realm Knights and Divine Origin Realm servants to set out on a hunting expedition. I should have done this from the start, Chief Ethar stared at his powerful lineup of subordinates. Although he alone had enough power to deal with a first-stage divine star-level threat, he also knew that it was only a rough estimate due to limited information. For his safety, it was always better to bring a force several times stronger than the estimated threat level. For first-stage divine star realm knights and 10 ninth-stage divine origin realm servants. Who can stop me? Chief Ethar thought confidently. With such a powerful lineup, even the great devils of Gehenna would have to flee for there. At the edge of the abyssal plain, Vaan stared into the dark opening of the forbidden abyss with Jamal. Other demigod-rank fighting dolphins have gathered around with mixed feelings. For this trip into the unknown territory known as the Forbidden Abyss, Vaan had decided to bring along only Jamal despite the many volunteers. He only needed a lucky charm and not additional burdens. Since even demigod-rank fighting dolphins have failed to return from the Forbidden Abyss, bringing the additional numbers was meaningless. Please be careful, my lord. You too, clan leader. We wish you both a safe trip. The fighting dolphins voiced their concern and well wishes one after another. N/O/vel/b/jn.c/jn.c/om. For a short period, the busy demigod-rank fighting dolphins in the abyssal plain stopped lifting abyssal stones. They chose to join the crowd in sending Vaan and their clan leader off. We'll be back, Vaan promised. Shortly after, Vaan and Jamal dived into the abyssal trench of infinite darkness. They easily went against the strong current and entered the so-called point of no return, which had stopped past fighting dolphins from returning a different directional current that pulled them deeper into the abyss instead of pushing them out. Although the descending current wasn't much stronger than the ascending current, its water density was many folds greater. As such, Jamal was quickly incapacitated despite holding his breath. His internal organs were protected, but he couldn't extricate himself from the high-density water current and could only be dragged by it. It was like getting stuck in fast-moving rat glue. But seeing that Jamal wasn't in immediate danger, Vaan didn't see a reason to save him. He allowed the current to pull them deeper into the abyss. As they sunk deeper and deeper, the faint traces of golden dragon blood in the seawater became clearer. It was clear proof of an existing opening to the dragon vein. Furthermore, the existing golden dragon blood, high water density, and strong current all fit the description of the water surge in the deeper layers of the dragon vein, as dragon serpent leader Sudu had previously explained. However, the direction of the current contradicted the increasing content of golden dragon blood in the seawater. After all, if the water surge were expelling the high-density seawater from the deeper layers of the dragon vein, that would imply that they had already passed the dragon vein opening. However, Vaan had not discovered it during their descent. Furthermore, the increasing golden dragon blood content and water density also implied they were getting closer to the dragon vein opening. The 2 points directly conflicted with each other. Nevertheless, it didn't take long before Vaan's doubts were answered. The strong current stopped dragging them down and began to push them up again, forming a looped current. Basically, they had found themselves in a strong current that only flowed in circles. It was no different from a wheel of death. If they were powerless to extricate themselves from this looped current, they could only follow the current in circles endlessly until death took them. The previous fighting dolphins who entered the Forbidden Abyss must have met this fate. Such would have also been the fate awaiting Jamal if Vaan wasn't around. After Vaan grabbed Jamal, he kicked against the water current and descended beyond the looped current, entering another descending high-density water current. His powerful water kick almost shattered the endless cycle of the looped current. A virtual map of the Forbidden Abyss was formed in Vaan's mind after he entered the third current. The middle looped current was formed by the ascending current and descending current it was situated in between. The third current was also the water surge of the dragon vein's deeper layers. If Vaan followed against its current, he would definitely locate the entrance to the dragon vein. However, Vaan wasn't as interested in the dragon vein entrance as he was in the source of the first ascending current. As such, he continued to follow the descending current with Jamal in tow. At some point, they finally reached the bottom of the Forbidden Abyss, where the descending current began to follow outward in the outer sea's direction. Vaan quickly realized a huge underwater passage connecting to the outer sea existed at the bottom of the Forbidden Abyss. Not only did the water from the dragon vein flow out of this place, but the toxic seawater of the outer sea also flowed in it. The two forces would collide, creating the death wheel looped current along with many smaller looped currents in the gaps between the two great currents. These countless small looped currents also acted like grinders, mixing and cancelling out the golden dragon blood and toxic seawater. As such, minimum amounts flowed into the southwestern sea. It seems like the source of mana is from up ahead. Vaan followed the underwater passageway leading to the outer sea. The seawater became increasingly murky and black with toxins, but neither he nor Jamal were affected by them. The toxic water couldn't enter the pores of Vaan's highly dense flesh, and it was only nourishment to Jamal, who possessed the poison eater ancestral talent. By the time they exited the end of the underwater passage, they were already in the vast territorial waters of the black outer sea. Jamal instantly felt a cold chill. Countless pairs of terrifying gazes locked onto his being from the dark depths of the outer sea. Just their faint presence made Jamal feel infinitely small and insignificant. The sea monsters of the outer sea weren't just powerful but also unreasonably huge. Jamal felt like he had stumbled into the den of primitive sea gods. Stop. As the terrifying shadows and auras drew closer, Vaan's single will cause them to freeze in their tracks. Shortly after, they retreated to respectable distances, and the oppressive pressure on Jamal was also withdrawn. Vaan focused his gaze past the group of colossal sea monsters and finally pinpointed the source of mana he was looking for, an underwater dimensional crack connecting to another. Boundless Sea of Chaos. Although he had suspected the Outer Sea might have been connected to the Dark Sea Abyss territory, he was still surprised by the discovery. Meanwhile, Jamal was even more shocked by the sea monster's sudden retreat. Jamal had never heard of or seen the Outer Sea's sea monsters being so obedient in front of the Conqueror's aura. Unlike other marine clans, the Outer sea monsters were far more resistant and rebellious towards the Conqueror's aura. It was also for that reason that the Celestial Kingdom's Ocean Master had to stay in the Southern Sea. The sea monsters in the Southern Outer Sea constantly caused trouble, even with the Ocean Master there to quell the chaos. For some reason, the Ocean Master's Conqueror's aura did not work very well on the sea monsters. Many marine clans believed the sea monsters were simply too strong to listen to obey the Ocean Master obediently. However, some also speculated the sea monsters were obeying the will of a stronger being. Today, Jamal felt like he had found the answer to the 300-year-long riddle. At the very least, he could see that his lord's Conqueror's aura was superior to the Celestial Kingdom's Ocean Masters. Otherwise, the sea monsters would not have retreated so obediently, even offering their respects. The new bearer of the Conqueror's aura was truly built differently. After the sea monsters came in contact with Vaan's boundless sea and sky aura for some time, the chaotic group became orderly. They suddenly separated into two files, creating a clear path for Vaan to follow. The path led straight to the underwater dimensional crack. On the other side of the underwater dimensional crack, where more fearsome sea monsters dwelled, another set of files was formed by the sea monsters. The long path led deeper into the dark depths of the Dark Sea Abyss territory. Clearly, the sea monsters wanted Vaan to follow the path. They tried to guide him somewhere. Although Vaan had no reason to reject, he also didn't necessarily need to agree. While the sea monsters have shown preferential treatment and respect due to his boundless sea and sky aura, it didn't necessarily mean they wouldn't harm him. After all, they didn't have the same blind worship as weaker marine life. As such, there was a chance that they could resist its influence if they chose to. Vaan also had to take note of the sea monsters' uniform behavior. He did not command them to clear him a path. They did so on their own accord after contacting his aura. That seemed to suggest some other, stronger being had instructed them to react this way when they came across the Conqueror's aura. When Vaan also considered the chaotic situation that the Celestial Kingdom's Ocean Master was facing in the Southern Sea, he realized there could be danger at the end of the path. That said, he was not the same as the Ocean Master. What awaited him wasn't necessarily a trap but an opportunity. As such, Vaan decided to see what was waiting for him at the end of the path. When Jamal wanted to follow him to the other side of the underwater dimensional crack, he was suddenly stopped by the overbearingly huge sea monsters. Two krakens used their long tentacles to block his way and warned him to back off with their fierce gazes. You can stay here and train while I go and see where they wish to lead me to, Jamal. Your body can't handle the high water pressure on the other side. But alright, my lord. Please be careful. Although Jamal was reluctant, he quickly accepted Vaan's decision and stayed back. After Vaan left, he felt rather vulnerable in front of all the enormous sea monsters. However, Vaan had willed the sea monsters to look after him. They also gladly accepted the task. He didn't leave until he confirmed the sea monsters wouldn't harm the Fighting Dolphin clan leader in his absence. After entering the ocean depths of the Dark Sea Abyss territory, Vaan immediately felt the water pressure increase significantly, reaching a level fatal to demigod rank beings. In other words, only divine rank beings could survive at this depth. However, the path created by the sea monsters continued to guide him deeper and deeper. New sea monsters would arrive to continue forming the line. It almost seemed like they intended to lead him to the very bottom of the ocean. Indeed, Vaan's guess was correct. He eventually arrived on the ocean floor, where the water pressure was so great that even rank 6 divine beings wouldn't survive. The ocean floor was like a world of its own, with an independent set of laws governing it. An ordinary person wouldn't have seen anything in the murky black seawater, but day and night made no difference in front of Vaan's powerful senses. Surprisingly, bright light existed at the bottom of the black ocean. It came from a radiant, glowing white temple. Time seemed unkind to it as much of its white limestone walls and pillars were covered in green moss. Even the sea god statue in front of it wasn't an exception. However, it clearly showed the underwater white temple had existed for a very long time. When Vaan arrived before the sea god temple, the sea monsters all respectfully took their leave after worshipping the moss-covered sea god statue. Seeing no one or thing come out to receive him, Vaan focused his attention on the sea god statue. It was a humanoid sea god covered in fish scales, raising a large trident in one hand while looking up and dignified. There were signs that the trident used to hold immeasurable power and authority. However, much of it had been lost, only its vestige remained. Is this a sea god's inheritance site? Vaan blinked twice with astonishment, not expecting to find such a place hidden at the bottom of the Dark Sea Abyss territory. When he approached the sea god temple a few paces closer, the moss-covered statue suddenly glowed with a stronger white radiance. The green moss shook off, and the intense light seeped back inside the statue. A few moments later, the white radiance reappeared in the eyes of the sea god statue as it came to life, turning its head to look down at Vaan. Welcome to the sea god's temple trial, new challenger. Ding. The target's information has been collected an/o/vel/. Target's information. Name, Zanbar Kindhold. Race, Stone Spirit Race. Age, 390 million Gehenna years. Position, Sea God Proteus's Spirit Servant, Temple Guardian. Existence level, Half-Step Divine King. Abilities, Protect Temple, Punisher, Give Reward, Conceal Temple, Detect, Deep Sleep, Transform, Absorb Earth, Lesser Sea God Authority. Status: bored, lonely, surprised, happy, contracted, restricted. Equals. After looking at the sea god statue's information, Vaan raised an eyebrow in surprise due to its age. It was much older than he had anticipated, even the oldest existence he had come across from Gehenna. It was even more ancient than the Garden of Thaya. Vaan couldn't help but wonder why it was hidden at the bottom of Dark Sea Abyss territory and if the black seawater and powerful sea monsters had anything to do with its existence. It seemed to contain a profound secret. What does this temple trial entail, and what is it for? Vaan calmly inquired. The sea god's temple trial consists of 2 tests, a qualification test and a personality test, the stone spirit answered. Since you have managed to reach this place, you have already passed the qualification test and only need to take the personality test within the sea god temple. The personality test only requires you to overcome an illusion and answer some questions. If you pass it, you will have the choice of becoming sea god Proteus's sea warden and be put in charge of this regional star ocean domain. This position naturally comes with the authority to command the ocean. Your other choice is to become sea god Proteus's in-name disciple and enter the myriad sea god palace for cultivation. If you achieve stellar results there, you will have a chance to upgrade your status to direct disciple and receive tutelage from the sea god Proteus himself. I also personally recommend you choose this second option on the off chance that you pass the trial, the stone spirit eagerly mentioned. He was quite happy to be able to speak to another intelligent life after so long. After all, the sea god temple hardly received visitors due to its hidden and difficult location. Why is that? Vaan asked curiously, feeling mildly astonished and stupefied. He was astonished because he seemed to have stumbled upon a rather extraordinary place. He was also stupefied because the stone spirit didn't seem to realize he was guided to this place and didn't have to challenge the sea monsters at all. Sea wardens have a limited future and heavy responsibilities, the stone spirit stated seriously. On the other hand, the disciples of the myriad sea god palace have a much brighter future due to its superior resources and cultivation grounds. Everyone who enters its doors has the potential to become a true god and create their own holy land. Of course, that's just the main reason why you should choose the second option. There's a problem if you want to become the sea warden, challenger. What problem? The sea warden symbol of ocean authority got stolen by a previous challenger who chose the second option. Unfortunately, the stone spirit sighed regretfully. If it weren't bound to the sea god temple, it would have left to recover the stolen relic from the audacious thief long ago. Sadly, it was also due to its negligence that allowed the symbol of ocean authority to be stolen in the first place. As such, it was ashamed to face the sea god Proteus. It did not guard the relic properly. Meanwhile, Vaan felt strange when he heard a previous challenger had stolen the sea warden symbol of ocean authority. He felt like there was a connection between it and the celestial kingdom's ocean master. What does the sea warden symbol of ocean authority look like? It's a powerful trident containing a tiny trace of the boundless sea and sky lord's aura. Oh, shoot. I wasn't supposed to tell you that yet. Looks like I have to erase you if you fail the trial. After hearing that, Vaan stared at the stone spirit residing in the sea god statue with a dumbfounded look. Wasn't this temple guardian a little too unreliable? He could already see why the sea warden symbol of ocean authority was stolen if the stone spirit was this sloppy. More importantly, the stone spirit revealed some crucial information. The sea warden symbol of ocean authority was most likely the conqueror's aura possessed by the celestial kingdom's ocean master. But if that were true, it would imply Pangaea's boundless sea had been connected to the Gehenna's dark sea abyss territory for almost 1,000,000 years, far longer than the mere 300 years everyone knew. How was that even possible? How do I reach the myriad sea god palace if I choose to become sea god Proteus's in-name disciple? Will a true god come and pick me up? Or is there a star portal leading there from here? Vaan casually asked, unaffected by the stone spirit's previous threat. Considering how mighty and powerful the myriad sea god palace sounded, he figured it would also be unimaginably far away from the Skymagia star kingdom. How could the distance between a tier 1 star kingdom and a possible holy land level power possibly be small? He wouldn't even be surprised if it was billions of light years away. At first, the stone spirit was surprised by Vaan's lack of concern. However, the stone spirit couldn't help but chuckle after listening to his questions. What kind of status do you think a true god has? How can a true god possibly be free enough to come and pick up some nameless being in this remote star ocean domain? We also don't need anything like those star portals, we have something better, water rifts. Water rifts? Vaan raised an eyebrow. Haha, you really don't know anything, do you? Since I'm in a good mood, I will explain for you, the stone spirit said merrily before stating something shocking. All the seas in chaos are interconnected. Wherever a sea exists, at least one water rift will be formed, connecting it to other nearby seas in the infinitely vast chaos. These water rifts create a complex network that connects all seas back to the boundless sea and sky domain. As long as you know the right set of water rifts to take, it's theoretically possible to travel from one end of chaos to the other end in a short time. Of course, that requires an incredibly detailed star ocean map to navigate through. It's almost impossible to know where every water rift leads without a star ocean map. Just this ocean realm alone has 8 water rifts, each connecting to a different sea or ocean. Together, these 9 seas are what we call a regional star ocean realm, which you will guard if you choose to become its sea warden. This is why the boundless sea is called the boundless sea. Fortunately for you, sea god Proteus opened a water rift connecting the sea god temple to the myriad sea god palace. So, getting there would only take an instant, the stone spirit grinned. Vaan couldn't help but sigh. The power of the boundless sea and sky lord was truly astonishing. To be able to connect all seas and skies in chaos was such an unimaginably impressive feat. As expected of one who has stepped beyond the heavens. How long would it take him to return to such level of power? Do I just enter the Sea God Temple to start the second test? Yes, once you enter the Sea God Temple, the personality test will begin immediately. But, are you planning to take the second test already? Can't we talk a little longer? If you fail the test, I'll be forced to erase you. The stone spirit felt very reluctant, seeing as Vaan already intended to enter the Sea God Temple. Vaan nonchalantly glanced back at the Sea God statue and asked, how long is a little longer, exactly? Not that long at all, just a few hundred years, the stone spirit said generously. However, when Vaan heard the stone spirit's reply, his expression immediately darkened. A few hundred years was not that long. I'm not that free, Vaan coldly stated before reassuring the stone spirit, don't worry. Not only will I pass this test, but I will also pass it quickly. If even the Celestial Kingdom's first-generation Ocean Master managed to pass the personality test only to steal the Sea Warden's trident and run back to Pangaea, then there was no reason why he couldn't. Clearly, the personality test was flawed or had some loophole that allowed the first-generation Ocean Master to exploit it. That said, the first-generation Ocean Master was truly an idiot. If the first-generation Ocean Master had already chosen to become Sea God Proteus's named disciple and enter the myriad Sea God Palace for training, why would he risk giving up the bright future and offending Sea God Proteus? Was stealing the Sea Warden's authority and returning to Pangaea worth it? Or did he think he could share the information with the Celestial Kingdom and have more of his people pass the Sea God Temple's trial? In that case, the first-generation Ocean Master should have just chosen to become the Sea Warden instead. However, Vaan realized the first-generation Ocean Master was likely a selfish and greedy person. He wanted to help the Celestial Kingdom, but he didn't want to be tied down by heavy responsibilities and a limited future. As such, the first-generation Ocean Master chose the second option and stole the Sea Warden's authority. He most likely thought he could use the Sea Warden's authority to give his people safe passage to the Sea God Temple. Unfortunately, he miscalculated and didn't expect the sea monsters to resist the authority of the Sea Warden's trident. That must be why the Ocean Masters have a constant conflict with the sea monsters of the outer sea. When Vaan decisively stepped through the Sea God Temple's giant twin doors, the stone spirit wanted to stop him. However, it was restricted by rules and laws placed on it. The stone spirit couldn't interfere with challengers taking the trial. Inside the Sea God Temple, Vaan immediately found himself in a vast open sea too big to be fitted inside the Sea God Temple naturally. As such, it could only be the workings of the spatial law or an illusion. However, Vaan could still see the entrance leading outside when he looked back. Furthermore, he had felt a change in the law of space when he stepped inside the Sea God Temple. Thus, he was more inclined to believe the Sea God Temple was utilizing the law of space to contain a sea realm within it. In other words, the Sea God Temple itself was a priceless treasure. After marveling at the ingenuity of the Sea God Temple's inner world, Vaan scanned the sea region with his senses. The sea realm wasn't particularly deep, only over 3,000 meters deep and 100 square kilometers big. A sealed well was found at its center. The aquatic plants on the seafloor also showed signs of heavy harvesting. Most likely, it had been cleaned out by the previous trial challenger. However, after nearly 1,000,000 years, the aquatic plants had recovered and thrived with newfound vigor. They were at least divine-rank magical plants, thanks to the rich, pure mana that filled the sea. When Vaan approached the sealed well at the center of the seafloor, countless marine life suddenly spawned. Large ships also appeared on the surface as humanoid fishermen dived into the water to hunt fish. It was clear what the personality test wanted him to do: save the fish from humanoid fishermen and prevent their excessive fishing from affecting the continuation of marine life. Vaan was surprised when he felt the force of every movement. The illusion had made everything incredibly lifelike, down to the minute detail. It was an illusion that could interfere with reality. As such, there was also danger. The weakest fisherman possessed the aura of a divine knight, while the strongest being was even a divine king. The trial seemed to be testing the choices he would make under the pressure of the strong, whether it would risk his life to save the fish or watch them get hunted into extinction. The available choices all had predetermined outcomes, was what Vaan thought when he dived into the middle of the fishing ground. However, his boundless sea and sky aura stirred all the fish into gathering around him as they paid their respects and offered their worship. The fishermen paused with stunned looks. No one expected the boundless sea and sky aura to affect even illusionary fish. Although Vaan had suspected his boundless sea and sky aura would give him an edge in the second trial, he didn't expect it to be like this. Just when the fishermen recovered their wits and intended to resume their fishing, the entire illusion disappeared. The personality test prematurely ended before it could even pass the early stages. This time, Vaan wasn't surprised. The Sea God Temple's trial tested the challenger's qualification to become a sea god. However, he was the lord of the boundless seas and skies who created the boundless seas and skies and all that lived within them. How could the Sea God Temple's trial be worthy of testing his qualifications? If anything, he was overqualified. Rumble. Shortly after the illusion disappeared, the entire Sea God Temple shook. The sea floor split apart, and a gigantic azure crystal covered in runes rose from the ground. The rune-covered gigantic azure crystal possessed incredible mana and contained intricate sets of laws within it that allowed the Sea God Temple to function the way it did. It was the Sea God Temple's core.